and welcome to the Housing and Construction channel. Ultimately, this is where you discover all your housing needs in the building industry. I am Bash, your host, and today we are here in Central University. With me here is the head of department of the Department of Architecture in the School of Architecture and Design in Central University. She's also an architect and personally one of my mentors and tutors. You're welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bash.
Thank you for joining
us.
Nice
to see
today.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
And in our natural habitat, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
We were here some time ago, not too long ago.
Not too long ago,
and
yes.
You were my TA.
Yes, I was.
You are now interviewing me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having us.
Well done.
Yes, so specifically on today's topic, we are going to look at training for architects. We want to look at young professionals, how they are brought up before they become senior professionals in the industry. So she's going to throw some light on, what they do over here, what happens in the School of Architecture, what kind of training the lecturers give the students, and then we are going to take you through this ride. But before we continue, I just want to take some time to acknowledge our sponsor, Ahenfie Estates. This is a real estate development company dedicated to providing quality homes at flexible payments and affordable prices. So do make sure you look them up at Ahenfie Estates on all social media platforms, or you can check them out on ahenfieestate.com. We do appreciate your partnership. Thank you very much. All right, so let's delve into our discussion for today. Can you please tell us about your curriculum and how the training of architecture is done over here?
Okay, thank you very much for coming, and we are happy to have you.
Thank you.
Yes, this is the School of Architecture and Design, specifically the Department of Architecture. Here in Central University, we have a 5-year program, which is a Bachelor of Architecture program.
Okay.
So we train students over these 5 years, and when you graduate, you become an architect, and you are able to work for 3 years, and then you qualify to write your professional exams. Okay. To become a full professional architect. Okay. So it's a professional program, and the first year we take students through the rudiments of architecture, where they learn freehand sketching, drawings, technical skills. They do some abstractisms, and we try to bring out the creative part out of them. Yeah. It's a deep searching kind of a situation that happens. And we take students from all kinds of subject areas.
Oh, really?
For architecture.
Not necessarily just the technical background.
No.
So what are some of the areas?
So any student who passes their WASI, SSE, A-levels, in any field at all. It could be
from a visual arts student,
visual arts, science, business, general arts, home economics, and any other. Once you pass and you get your credits and you qualify for architecture, we bring you on board. So we start off everybody on a level playing field, and we introduce you as you go. So there are some things that will be very simpler for people who did visual arts, like when we are doing sketching. Okay. They will have it a bit easier because they've done sketching for some time of their educational life. Yeah. Others may not. But then you come to other parts when you have to do technical drawings. And some people will have an upper hand in that area too. And then we build models as well. So every idea and conceptualization we do in the beginning of architecture, we build models to interpret it. We believe that when you build a model, you understand better the spaces that you are creating. Moving on to the second year of the education, you are introduced more into a community where there's it's either a rural or a district community, where there's some kind of a cultural, traditional significance that we want to look at. So you go on a field survey, and then you go and gather data, you come and analyze it, and then process and come up with some solutions, for that environment. So you do some enhanced housing. From first year, getting to the end of it, you are introduced to some kind of housing. Maybe a living capsule, 1-bedroom design kind of a thing. Okay. Second year, you improve upon that. Do 2, 3, 4 bedrooms. And then you may also do some civic buildings, some religious, traditional buildings, cultural centers, and things like that. Yeah. So that's what happens in the second year. And then when you come to the third year, now we push you into the urban space itself. Okay. So you're going to design bigger buildings, so to say, and you in third year, you do urban survey. So you go into a city. We've done surveys of Tema a lot. Remember when you were here, we did surveys of Tema, we did Agbogloshi and other places. So we go in, identify some built environmental challenges that the area may have. Then we come up with solutions for them. So in the third year, you are doing more large housing schemes. You are doing also bigger civic public spaces and designs. And I know with these
schemes, they are put in groups, to embark on these things.
Yes. Okay. So for your surveys, you are grouped under different thematic areas. So you have people who will be working on the buildings itself, and then you have people who will be working on landscape, and you have other people who will be working on socio-cultural issues in the space. Sustainability issues will come up and all that. So all that information is put together, and then proposals are developed. And sometimes we present these proposals back to the district assemblies and the MMDAs.
That's a very broad, very broad field.
Yes.
So also, before I continue to the fourth year, with the students' capacity, being in the school, we know how tough architecture can be.
Yes.
Is it still the same as how it was before? The difficulty level, people running away, people wanting to stop, sometimes some to enjoying it, living the best.
I think my students here will attest. It's still difficult. It's still very difficult. It's very demanding. We take up your whole time. So if you decide to come to architecture school, you are dedicating your whole time to the program. So you have very little time to do other things. I would say about 80% of your time is dedicated purely to architecture, because we hold you in the studio. You will do theory courses during the day. We close at 4 p.m. on a daily basis, and then after 4 p.m. you go take a shower and come back to the studio to come and draw through the night. And the next day we expect you to come back again.
So regarding the students, from where you stand as the head of department, and as a lecturer, do they enjoy the course? Do they show some level of excitement in what they do? With how tedious it can be?
I think they do. To a very large extent. When they come in fresh, we do ask them, okay, so did you choose this course yourself? Why did you choose it? And most of the times, the most common answer we get is, because I'm passionate about it. I have the passion for it. I know it's a very prestigious profession, and I think I'll make a lot of money if I do this. So that is what guides them. I think that is what holds some people through it, because the stress is so much that you want to give up. But when you remember that you said you were passionate about it, and we will keep reminding you, I will keep reminding you, and you loved it so much, so that keeps you going. Despite the fact that it's a very tough field to be in, but it is not something that is not doable. It's doable. I've done it, you have done it. We are here today, so it can be done.
And then also, regarding the curriculum, we know that there are internship programs, there are opportunities, regarding how we incorporate this into the curriculum. Can you help us? Can you elaborate more on that?
So internships are very key for architectural studies. This is a very practical course, and it is more of an apprenticeship. So if you're doing architecture, you need to understudy somebody. You need to see somebody do it, so you copy, say, or you learn the tactics of doing it. So internship is key. Right from second year, the policy of the school is that you start internships and you go to a reputable firm, architectural firm or construction company, to undertake an internship. And then you come back with a report for art, which is graded as part of your studio work. So we take internships very seriously, and we bring in a lot of professionals from practice to come and give more light on the reason why internships
share more insight
are important to the course.
And also regarding the practicality, of the profession and the course. We know that in the academic world, it's more about theoretical, articles, theory, and all that. So how do we? Can you tell us how you incorporate practicality into the theoretical aspect?
So in architecture, practically we do 60% of practice and 40% of theory.
Okay.
If you look at our credit loading for the courses, the studio alone takes about more than half of the credit load for the entire course for the semester. So if you take level 100, they are doing, the studio alone is 6 credits per semester. So for the year, it's 12 credits for the studio, which is the practical part of it alone. And the others are 2 credits, 3 credits. So you can already see that from the credit loading, there's a lot of emphasis placed on practice. So you draw a lot because that's what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life, drawing and designing buildings for people. Okay. You need to do it to the best of your ability, because if you draw a very bad design, you will kill people. And that's why we stay in school for long as well. Yeah. But just like the doctors, if you make a mistake, you kill people.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes.
And we also realize how, as it stands now, technology is advancing. Yeah. There's advancement in all this technology and all. How do you incorporate that in the studies as well?
Yeah, so students are encouraged to, move with the trends. And now you see, technology is highly incorporated. In the curriculum itself, from second year, you start working with CAD softwares. Computer-aided drawing is what you do. Yeah. So in first year, you do everything by hand. In second year, you transition into drawing on the computers. So technology, using the softwares, using them to analyze the building, its impact on the environment, how the sun acts on the building and all that. All those softwares are built into what they use to do their drawing. So we encourage them a lot. And we do a lot of research. Yeah. Before you're able to do a good design, you must have done a lot of research. And it is through these means that you do that research as well to add on to it. So it's highly, highly important for us that we incorporate technology into the course.
Yeah. 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 Thank you, Mama. That was very insightful. And also, regarding the student's life, regarding the student-lecturer relationship, regarding exchange programs, are there anything of that sort regarding exchange programs as part of the opportunities?
Yes, there are. I must say recently, not too long ago, we had an opportunity where students could go on an exchange program from this school, to Turkey. Okay. To do a full semester, okay. And then come back to join the class in the next year. It's just that we didn't act early enough. The students who managed to qualify for it didn't have their passport and things in good time, and that's why they couldn't go. But those opportunities come up, they are available to do exchanges, to travel out, to experience what other architecture schools are doing. The other part of your question, you mentioned, I've forgotten.
The student's life.
The student's life, yes, I want to touch on that.
Okay.
Yes, okay. Because it's so stressful.
But then for the opportunity, the exchange program, can I come back and also go first?
I think it's a little late for you, unless you want to become a student again.
I don't mind. For a semester, I mean.
You want to travel on our budget.
Turkey is not a bad place.
Okay. We'll welcome you back. I mean, you tutor for us in the process, But with regards to the student's life, that is the part that I think we can do a bit more for our students, especially as a university. We need to bring in a bit more of entertainment onto the campus in general. Do you get it? Because our students spend a lot of time in the studio. So there's the little time they have, they cannot even spend in playing basketball in a very good court, or playing football in a very good field, that kind of a thing. They do have some semblance of social life. It could be better. Let me say it could be better, but they do have some kind of social life. They do have parties, drink ups, and things in their hostels. And I'm sure you ask some of them and they'll tell you more. Yes. And I'm sure our viewers too want to know, in the practice of architecture, is this so different from being a young professional? Because we know eventually what you do here, you end up going to the field that you are working. But we know you're a practicing architect as well. Yes. And how has the journey been? Is it so different practicing and also studying? Yes, I think there's a difference. But for me personally, it's been a good combination. combining academia with practice. Because for architecture, anywhere you are, you can practice it. All you need is your laptop and a few other gadgets, and you'll be fine. You get it. So I do this academic work, but I do run a small firm on the side with another colleague architect. So we do manage the time, and what is flexible about academia is that there's always a timetable, and you could always go around it in a way, you know, to get practice also going. But you cannot be away all the time. So if you have a good partner to liaise with, it's possible to combine the two, you know. For some people, if the passion is there and this is what you want to do, you want to impact knowledge somehow to the younger generation, it's a way to go. I've been in it for 13 years now, and I've not regretted it.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
I haven't.
Wow.
No.
Okay, and also seeing how we know that the profession of the architect is quite more of a teamwork with other professionals, you know. In the schooling tradition, you know, in the schooling curriculum, are there any leverages or opportunities where you get to, you know, liaise with other young professionals from other, you know, fields, like say the civil engineering or the surveying, or is there some part of the grooming, you know, where some form of training is given in these respective areas?
Yes, so in architecture, you do several courses, and surveying is one of them. You know, we do surveying, we do construction technology, we do a lot of theories in structural design, and these are more detailed in the civil engineering. Okay. But then you have an aspect of it that you do. Sometimes we combine the classes for them to do it together. You get it? And that also helps the students to get to know each other. You could form some relationships from there, which you could use after school, you know, to set up firms and practices. You understand? So that collaboration is there. Now we are even moving on to a point where we want to have students do thesis together, combined thesis.
Oh, okay.
So have architecture students with the other professions. So civil engineering and architecture could come together to do a thesis project together.
Yeah. And I think that will be very effective, because it gives them hands-on experience. Because I'm sure with the thesis programs, they are taking real-life projects and they are working on it.
Yes, yes. The thesis is the final year project that you do in level 500. So you take a project that is viable, that is needed, probably proposed by the district assembly or the MMDAs, and you analyze it, do your documentation, and come up with a presentation at the end of the day, you know, of a design that you propose, and then of course a report, which is a technical report that goes with the design that you've done. So that's what you do as a final year project. So the combination will be very good. That liaison with other professions and other subjects, other programs that we run in the school. You know, somebody could come from health sciences to do a thesis project with somebody in architecture. If it's a health project, for instance. Yes. So they combine the knowledge that they have gained, and then they produce a better work. Rather than leaving just an architecture student to do everything.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So also on the issue of the thesis you mentioned, you know, so I know that gradually from first year you go through to the 5th year. Yes. And the 4th year and the 5th years are probably the last 2 years. I mean, they are the last 2 years.
Yes.
So how challenging are they? Because we know getting to the final year, you have to put in a lot, project work, your thesis. You know, can you throw more light on that?
Yeah, so the 4th year is also quite intense, because it's like a mini thesis. So you do a big project that sort of imitates the thesis that you are going to do. So for the 4th year, here is where students are introduced to more specialized buildings. So you are doing projects that you have to incorporate a lot of sustainability into. You have to look at critical structures. So these are multi-story kind of projects. So you look at the construction technology very keenly. You look at the structures very keenly, sustainability, just as I mentioned, and then also the theories behind what we're doing. And of course, mechanical and electric and plumbing, you know, MEPs are very critical. That is the services in the 4th year. So that's when you develop all those detailed, much more detailed parts of your architectural training, to carry you on to the 5th year, where you finally go and produce a big masterpiece of work that can be built. Yes, that can be built. It needs to be viable, yes.
Wow. So the fifth year is like it crowns it all, you know, you put in the hard work, you are working. So with the fifth year, how many courses do they do?
Oh, so the fifth year, the courses are dramatically reduced. They do only 2 courses. So you do the studio and probably seminars, where we invite professionals from practice to come and deliver on different subject areas. Critical regionalism, architecture criticism, and topics like that. So people come and deliver topics in that. So seminars in architectural criticism is one of the courses, and then the studio itself is about 24 credits. 24 credits. So it's big. Yes, it's very huge. You need to pass it. So imagine if you were aiming for a first class and you were at a lower as at the time you entered 5th year. If you're able to make an A, you could get your first class. Wow. All things being equal, depending on the kind of A you make.
It's to carry a lot of.
It's huge.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah. And looking at how, so that's my last question. Looking at how broad, you know, the field is. You know, most of the time, things in life, the bigger it is, probably people say it's expensive. So I want to ask regarding cost, and as a student or as an architectural young, you know, professional, is it expensive? Is it?
Yes, I have to honestly say that reading architecture is expensive. You know, you're always drawing, you're always printing, you use all these tools, and you have to buy them, and you need a laptop, so you have to put in some investment into getting the course going. And you know that the numbers of sheets we can print. Yes, we do a lot of documentation, and we expect to see, you know, every aspect of the documentation covered, you know, and you have to print all those sheets, and it costs money to do that. So it's a little expensive, but it's not overboard. Sometimes we have also tried to make it a bit less burdensome on students and their parents by introducing juries that we now project. We project our jury. So until you get to the final jury for the thesis, for instance, where a lot of sheets are printed, you project to all the interim juries that you go to. You project and corrections are given, and then you go about it until the final print is done. And even with the final print, now we've developed a new system where you print a banner sheet. I don't know if you look behind me, you see some sheets that are like banners. So you consolidate all your ideas and everything that you've done in the work into one sheet that explains everything. And then you project the rest, and then you show to us, just to cut down the cost.
Seeing all this now brings back a lot of memories. I mean, those times, call them the bed sheets, you know, the floor to ceiling sheets, printing them out. Wow. So in a nutshell, what are your final words for anyone who wants to apply to the School of Architecture, you know, who is interested in studying architecture? What can you tell them in a nutshell?
I'll tell them that they should apply. It's a very fulfilling space to be in, especially in the built environment. You lead a team, for instance, architects lead a team in the built environment space. So it's very prestigious. It requires a lot of hard work. I want to encourage the young ladies especially to join us, do architecture. It's hard, but it's doable. See, I'm very small, but I did it. When I was in school, I was much tinier, but I was able to do it. It's a lot of hard work. You will cry a little. You'll be happy too when you score your grades. It's exciting, and most of the time people say it's a man's field. So I want to encourage more ladies to try their best in this, because we can be successful in it. Thank you.
All right, so I think that's enough talking for today. You know, we see some of the students here. Can we look at their works and then?
Oh, sure, we can. So our students, for their last scheme for first year, they are designing an artist's residence. An artist's residence. So you're supposed to select any artist of your choice. Of their choice. Yes. And then design a 2-bedroom residence for the person. You have to make sure that there's a living, a sleeping, and a workspace in that facility that you're designing.
Very challenging.
So you have to pick a person, you profile the person, do some documentation on that artist, what they like, what they don't like, you know, what will inform what you want to design for them and what kind of spaces you want to give. So that's what they are working on now as their final project. As you can see, they are drawing by hand, T square, S square.
Yeah.
Yes, the traditional way.
The traditional
so that's
way,
how we
manual,
go in first year. Everything is mostly by hand.
Say
but
some
now we have
sketches.
incorporated some technology. So they do some of their documentation with the computer. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So there you see, most of them are working very hard to try to complete their work. They are on a deadline, actually. You know.
I see.
Everything
so they
is
do
happening.
all this, you know, I see some sketches,
There
some
are
coloring,
sketches,
some drafting.
Yes.
Oh.
So you are supposed to introduce the scheme, introduce the personality you are designing for, give us some data on the person, what the person likes and dislikes, come up with a concept, you know, a big idea that will drive the project, and then explain the concept and all that. You know how we do it.
That's a lot of work. I know.
A lot of work, and we're starting off from first year, so we hit the ground running, so to say. So you see, somebody is putting spaces together, you know, nicely here in a beautiful sketch. You know, the site is analyzed, the wind directions, the sun path, the orientation of the building. You know, we're in the tropics, so you need to orient right so that you can capture enough sunlight into the space and then have good ventilation, because here we are not going to mechanically ventilate. Everything will be natural, so they need to capture all that in the design to make it a good design. So that's what basically
and after they present all of this,
and after you are done, you get to present the whole work in front of all of us. And that's where the nerves come in.
So that's a lot of skills they are building up, both soft skills and hard skills, because to do all the research, all the work, and finally you present it in front of people.
Yes.
Wow.
Architecture is about marketing as well. So once you're able to produce a project, you need to be able to speak to it, you need to be able to sell it for people to buy, you know. So you need to learn the ability to present, to publicly speak, you know.
So they are all working on the same scheme.
They are all working on the same scheme, but they will definitely come up with different designs because they are for different people. You know, is anybody doing a design for Shatawale? I don't know. Okay, so who are some of the people you are designing for? He is designing for Ablade Glover, one of the greatest artists in Ghana. So
that will be a very challenging design.
Very, very challenging. This is a very deep personality, you know, with amazing works. So you have to come up with something good. And do they
they still work together? I know in our time, we work together like this. They still do this.
They still work together. They still work. If you do not come to studio to work together in teams with your mates, I don't know what kind of work you produce, because you rub on each other. You know, you rub off each other. You learn from each other. They critique each other's work before we even come and critique the work. Yes, just so they can get it right. So that's what they are working on. We are hoping that by tomorrow they'll have something good to present.
I think that's some really good training you have over here. Because I remember at the time when we were doing this, we did something else. I think ours was a chalet or something. It was
something a
smaller scheme. But now all the way to design for a client in first year.
For a client, yes,
wow.
Exactly.
This is good. This is good. So I think that brings us to the end of our discussion for today. Once again, we are very grateful you took time to meet us, to take us through all what we've discussed today. We are sure our viewers are very blessed with such insights for someone such of a reputable position as yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you for throwing light on this for us as well. You know, Central University is the only other university in Ghana that is reading architecture, you know, and so we have something to offer, and we want people out there to patronize us. We have smaller classes, and so there's much more attention that we give to the students, you know, and we are churning out very good students. Recently, it was one of our past students who designed the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. That was commissioned. Bethel, he was my student, you know, so we are churning out some good architects.
Yes, I mean, I also had very good training from you, so I know that some way, somehow, I'll just go to somewhere, you know.
Yes, you will be designing the next, you know, big thing in Ghana.
Amen to that.
Yes. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again, ma'am.
Most welcome, Bash. Thank you for coming.
And that brings us to the end of another insightful discussion on the Housing and Construction channel. Today we looked at the training of architects, and we had a gifted person, grace us with her presence, and she is the architect, Ninnette Quaofio, the head of the Department of Architecture in the School of Design and Architecture in Central University. We know you were blessed by her insightful views and thoughts. So do make sure you stick around next time for more insightful discussions on the Housing and Construction channel. But before you go, I want to personally invite you, do make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe to this channel. Also, don't forget to ring that notification bell so you are the first to know when we drop our new videos, so that you can stay updated on the latest trends, tips, and tricks in the housing and construction industry. Also, once again, a very big thank you to our backbone of the show, that is Ahenfie Estate. We are very grateful for your sponsorship and your partnership. Thank you very much. If you like the content you had today, do make sure you stick around next time for more insightful views on this channel. I am Bash, your host. Until next time, thank you for joining us.